Oh, you're a little doll. I'll put some in a bag for you to take, okay? These are spicy. I don't know if they
They might.
There have been years of violence, years of murder, under the leadership of mob boss Nicodemo Scarfo. But now, little Nicky is in jail. Who is next in line? This is Lee McCarthy. Join me for a profile of the three men most likely to succeed in The Mafia After Scarfo, tonight on the 10 o'clock news following Mafia Wars on TV 29.
Whenever skies look gray to me and trouble begins to brew, whenever the winter winds become too strong, I want my MTV.
It doesn't sound like TV. It doesn't look like TV. It doesn't even feel like TV. Sure, you love TV, but sometimes you gotta ask yourself,
TV or MTV? I want my MTV.
In the construction business, if a contractor stepped out of line, if he complained about mob control of his concrete supplies, the mafia could use its union power to stop work on his project, drive the contractor out of business, or worse. The contact man between the contractors and the mafia was union official Ralph Scopo. Scopo was New York president of the Concrete Workers' Council and a made member of the mafia. Investigators bugged his car too. They eavesdropped as he and his associates gloated over a $30,000 cash payoff.
Last night's all hundreds. That's the way it should be. It's beautiful.
He was, in effect, the bag man for the commission, collecting money, as the surveillances showed and as the tapes showed, from various contractors. And he really set out for them exactly how the scheme worked.
Scopo spelled out how the commission fixed the bidding between cement companies. One of the companies was called S&A.
I got a job, okay, and let me tell you exactly what's going to happen with the job. There's only one other bidder, S&A. There's a $3.5 million price in there. All right? I'm going to take the job for $2,890,000. They're going to go back to S&A and ask S&A, tell S&A that they can't do the job because the price is too high. The building's not going to go ahead. And see if he's going to go down to this price, which he's not going to. At that point, they're going to give me the job.
The commission's profits were fabulous.
So really, maybe it's what, 250,000 profit if we did get it? That's shit. He thinks Nick is the Godfather. He's the Godfather.
Scopo would remind reluctant contractors of his underworld associates and their proclivity to murder.
They have no choice, because if they don't go along, they're going to be murdered, or their jobs are going to be harassed, so they aren't going to be able to do business. And in some cases, they'll just be driven out of business and not be able to do business in New York.
Giuliani says that organized crime didn't build this city, it devastated it. By forcing up the cost of building by more than 20%, it directly put homeless people on the streets. In the 60s, Bobby Kennedy called organized crime the enemy within. For the next 20 years, the leaders of the commission remained immune, invulnerable. Now, for the first time, the heads of the mafia families have been convicted of their real crimes. Commission members were sentenced to 100 years in jail. Sicilians behind the world's biggest heroin network got up to 40 years. Now comes the moment of truth for those who betrayed the mafia, who put its leaders behind bars. In America, Tommaso Buscetta testified against heroin traffickers and helped to defeat the leaders of the commission. In Italy, he named Michele Greco as supreme head of the Sicilian Commission. Hundreds of mafiosi were arrested because of him. So were business leaders, even politicians. The mafia took a contract on his life.
Buscetta has to has to stay away from the nightclubs, the big city. He has to keep himself secluded, basically. Whether he'll be able to do that, whether his family will allow him to do that, whether normal family pressures will allow him to do that, I don't know. I personally don't think so. I think somewhere down the line, whether it's 5, 6, 10 years long, something will probably happen to him.
Luigi Roncesvalles would never underestimate the mafia or its hatred for Tommaso Buscetta.